Hello everyone and welcome to today's stream. Let me see if you can hear me all right. Sound good? Sounds good, thank you very much. Henrik, how was your summer? It was good, thank you. I managed to catch almost a week. I spent a few days in Spain, and I actually managed to do a business meeting in Spain as well during my short vacation there. So I managed to get some time away from the main computer. How you been doing, everyone? So yeah, it was quite a while ago since my last stream due to, again, vacation time. And yeah, the team have also obviously been getting some vacation to, refuel that energy so they can continue delivering solid content. So we are approaching our next patch now when the team is back in business. We also actually we have moved the office to a new location and network, so we've actually been upgrading our capacity when it comes to work efficiency. We have about 10 times faster network, internet and hardware to just simply increase efficiency when it comes to developing, building patches, sending them up, testing and all of that. So it's awesome to see we are improving that process. So we have lost a few days with some of that moving and setting up all of that, but we are gonna gain that back quite quickly over time due to everything is gonna be much faster. So that's awesome to see. We are working with a lot of people from remote across the world, so it's important to have quick internet access and access to our servers and such. We've also been collecting a little bit of data with the help of you guys. If you have noticed, we did a little survey questionnaire for some of the in-game, both bugs, issues, polish, and some quality of life that we also been started a little bit on. So we're actually getting a few of those in this patch as well. We try to cover the top one, obviously, that we see more people are expressing specific bugs. One classic being able to log out in dungeons that cause a lot of issues and obviously annoyances is one big one. We have some AI stuff, AI leashing and such. So yeah, we're trying to cover some of those as well. We have some quality of life stuff, we have pet leveling and so on. So we're going to cover a few of those in the upcoming patch. Obviously we also have a huge, sorry, I'm spitting on the mic here, huge list. I think we have over 120 something fixes in the world, and also bug fixes and such. So should be some good improvement as well. We're getting a roadmap soon, so I'm gonna reveal the upcoming patch first. We're still ironing out a few things for the upcoming sprints, which we plan to also put on a roadmap as soon as we have them more covered in detail. We have been increasing the team a little bit. Got another coder on board, an animator. So, getting slowly increasing the development there as well. There was Reflex. Thank you very much for the 30 month. Sir, Sire, do you have Haven free to play as part of your plans, and if so, this year? So we do have a lineup with specific steps. As you know, we have mentioned that we are starting in different marketing steps. So we have a quite exciting lineup for the coming months. And one of those big steps a little bit further down the road is free to play Haven. So yes, it is part of the long-term marketing plan to simply get more awareness and players into the game. We are working with a new company that is really good at specific marketing for these types of game. I mean, this is not the typical theme park game that you just pick up in 5 minutes and you know everything about it and get going. So it requires some specific targeting marketing to do well and be efficient as well. And we're starting that also in different forms. Gilbert Wombat, thank you for the 20-month. To be honest, I don't know what to write right now. I've been satisfied with the game and don't know what to talk about. There's always something to talk about when it comes to Multiline 2, you know? Both good stuff and bad stuff, improvements, features. It's endless, and that's one of the beautiful things with a sandbox like Multiline 2. You know, every month there's an interesting topic, feature, things to add, and that's also why it's been exciting for us, the developers, to work on this game for so many years. It feels like every now and then there's a new chapter in terms of new features that just simply makes it very fun and exciting to develop. So every now and then the developer gets really happy and excited to, okay, right now we work on this and it's going to be exciting. You know, it's almost like a small new game every time when we switch a big main feature focus. So yeah, that is a little bit about the updates. But yeah, I guess you guys are also hungry for upcoming patches. As I mentioned, we've been a little bit slow since vacation time, and we are finally back in full force. And like I said, new improved network, getting about 10 times the performance when it comes to building and uploading patches to Steam and all that process. So very much improved. I think in the long term, that's going to be extremely beneficial for us in the team to just work more efficiently. It takes a lot of time to go through and build a process patch and deploy it live. And obviously, the faster and the more efficiently you can do that, the better we can work on the actual game and give you the patches faster as well. All right, so let's see. We have Sprint 6 patch as our next topic here. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that so you can see what you're expecting. We're getting close to PTR as well. So let me find that little thingy. So Sprint 6, the one we are delivering now next. So we have a few topics here that we want to reveal to you guys. You know what to expect in the upcoming patch. On the server side, we've been running the latest generation of hardware for quite a while, but you know, after a few years, that kind of hardware is getting obsolete, right? So we're actually just now getting the latest generation of hardware when it comes to upgrading our actual MMO server setup. We're gaining about 60% performance with the new hardware. So latency will go down in all actions and internal calculation and sending data over the network, which means there may be some noticeable improvements overall in specific actions when you're playing the game as well. So we are a little bit interested in hearing your feedback if you notice improvement in the latency on actions. So that's going to go on our planned PTR if everything goes as planned. So we're looking forward to some feedback there. Pierce, thank you very much for the subscription. Appreciate it. So yeah, new hardware tech upgrading the Mirland server setup. We're also moving over to Unreal Engine 5.4, which is a huge upgrade in the engine. There's a lot of core updates in versions going from 0.3 to 0.4. They have also been optimizing the render pipeline and changed quite a bit. We have noticed some minor improvements in terms of raw FPS. So just in the backend as the render pipeline, that is slowly being improved by Epic Games as well. There have also been a few major bugs in the landscape world in 5.3 that we discovered. Almost no other MMO or game with that size have been venturing into those areas. So we've been talking with Epic Games and have those fixed. So some of that is also fixed in the 5.4. So overall improvement in various systems that we can also utilize in a development. We're getting the new developer animator that is going to be introduced to some of these as well. It's going to be interesting to see what we can utilize more here over time. We are also working on optimizing our character system, as mentioned before. We need to rebuild the character system somewhat to be more utilized in a better way in Unreal 5 compared to Unreal 4. So we have started that progress as well in the background. I'm not entirely sure yet if there's some part of this being deployed in this patch, but there will be a few steps when this goes into the game as well, where you should see a significant improvement in the FPS, just having a lot of players' characters on the screen. So obviously something that benefits from large-scale battles further. We also have the one that I mentioned, one of the big quality of life that a lot of players have been requesting on the survey is the pet experience system. So, you know, today it's not very exciting to have your pet on a dummy on a city AFK for 8 hours to get some levels going to be able to utilize the pet. With this new system, you just need to gain experience and have your pet nearby. You can use it in battle or have your little baby pets behind you, and it will gain the experience and gain levels while you do so as well. Belric, thank you for the 38th month. Keep up the good work, Starwalt. You showed being able to craft fishing poles a while back, as well as the fishing vendor have their own special pole. Will we be able to buy that pole the vendor have with maybe task currencies? We do have a few poles that I showed you guys, yes, and it is prepared to be added in a pole crafting system, and that is the system that we haven't built yet. We need a coder to do that. We could add, I guess, some of these poles already as a trade. We can have preset crafted types of those, but obviously we want to deploy the craftable part of it as well eventually. We are, you know, there is one focus when it comes to adding more fish content and add a little bit more overall experience to fishing, and of course that should also go hand in hand with crafting the poles eventually. But we don't know where we are setting the crafting system at this point yet, so we will see a little bit. But we could potentially add a pole or such as a trade. And of course, the no logout system for dungeon, which was one of the main one in the survey. We have finished that system now. We are deploying it now. So that means if you try to log out or, you know, Alt F4 quit in a dungeon, your character will remain there for a few hours. And if it still remains there after X amount of hours, it will die of starvation. So that is the current setup rule for the dungeon volumes. That will go on PTR as well, so you can go out and test that, helping us testing that. Dr. Gaz, thank you very much for the Prime. So that is that one. And then we have a few tweaks with gifts. We have Alvarin getting a new gift addition to its runner's high, which will be a little function where it's, while in that buff state, it can also do specific strikes that bypasses parts of the armor. So it kind of fits their quick, agile, critical style thing. So that's also gonna go on PTR, so we can get some evaluation balance test on that. We are looking forward to. Watch out, player 66 donated $2. Thank you very much. Hey Henrik, any plans to get rid of where the hell did that message go? Ability to spin in combat. So that's been an old topic, right? That we've been talking about over the year. You know, pros and cons with the spinning. Some people like it, some people hate it. So obviously personal opinion. But when it comes from our point of view, we fully understand the capacity of the combat system, its limits, its pros and cons, and how it differentiates from dueling and having group fights, wars in larger scales. And we are fully aligned on the same page that dueling without spinning, you're not really progressing. At a certain level, you can't really finish a duel. I'm sure you've been dueling and seeing all those duel tournaments, etc. And since we don't have the combat abilities yet or any other options, spinning is a requirement to kind of beat your opponents. And again, you know, personal opinion on if people like it or not like it, but lack of options to it, there's no point of removing that or restricting that today and just killing all the dueling component from the game. But like we said before, we do plan to add more options to the combat that will hopefully spice things up and allow you to do actions that doesn't solely evolve spinning, which should also allow us to strict the spinning capacity a little bit. We're quite generous compared to other Age of Chivalry, Mordhau, and those types of game with similar mechanic. We can strict it a little bit more than we are using today. So it goes a bit hand in hand with those kind of updates, which we don't have the exact date on yet. As I mentioned before, it's the most sensitive thing in the game. We don't want to set a date and rush to death to meet that deadline if it's not good enough, because, you know, for a lot of people that enjoy the combat, to play this game for combat, we don't want to rush a combat feature that are, you know, half fun, good working, or very bad balanced. So there will be more information on that when we get closer. Got a whoop whoop, eh? Got a whoop whoop train. Thank you very much. Let's see. Yeah, so that's a little bit about a gift there. We have a fledgling flag system coming in as well, which means as a new player, you will have a fledgling status, which you know, make it clear for everyone that this is a new player. You know, we should help new players to get into the game before we can, you know, get into more action with or against other players, right? We all want the player population to grow. So this is simply a flag that is tied with X amount of hours in game time for the account. And that means a more severe penalty when killing, or if killing a fledgling. So you may want to avoid that. There's nothing to benefit from. You will just, you know, get more penalty pretty much in terms of XP and standings and such. We want to help new players to get into the game, right? I think majority agree with that, until we can have some more fun, engaging fights with or against those players. Yeah, it is tied to the account, Patwins. So if you make a new character directly, it shares the in-game fledgling time, and if we remake it, it still have that account time. So yeah. Obviously don't know your player base. I know the player base extremely well, Abba. More than you will think. I've been here for 20 years, so I think I know it a little bit better than most. I know exactly why we need the fledgling flag. I also know that the majority absolutely want more players, even to kill more players, right? And the irony is, some people may think, well, everyone is PvPer and they just want to kill players. That's far from the truth. The majority is not PvP murderers in our game, actually. They are sandbox players. We have combat players focused, we have PvP focused players, absolutely, but they are not the majority in the game, you know. So we need to do what we need to do to introduce new players in a good way, give them a fair chance before, you know, I mean, it's still a very harsh game world with very few limitations on what you can do. Of course, as I mentioned, we have a lot of bug fixes and polish both in the world. We have over 120 fixes so far that have been approved. We have a few rejected that we are working on as well to finish. So it should be a overall less petition. We can see petition that happens in a frequency, and obviously if there's a specific area or a specific part where a lot of people send petition have problems, just fixing a few of those will remove a lot of player petitions and you know, annoyances from players. So hopefully you will notice overall polish in the world when traveling as well. How we prevent veterans players from making new accounts and abusing the fledgling systems. So those are some of the things we're looking at, right? Obviously, if we can see a clear abuse of mechanics, how it's intended to be used, we can always take action, right? We have the GM's monitoring, we have rules we apply. If there's something that occurs that just simply are against the rules clearly, we can always take action against that, right? And of course, as I said, we have the PTR, we want to take the opportunity and we will see if there are specific functions or tweaks we want to do to just make it safer, right? Right, so then we have a little game system in the loop that will also arrive here. A fun, cool little system. As I mentioned, we have a new coder that have been with us for a little while and getting more and more, quite quickly, quite impressively so, getting into the development. So I'm very happy to see that, you know, which means we can add more features and content on our developers. And this ties a little bit into, obviously, game functions like mini games, board games types of functions in Mortal Online. So we're starting here with one little cool system that I think some of you may enjoy and find funny. So you will see that as well. It's a cool system. So yeah, those are the main things I would say in this next patch. We have a PTR plan for next week if everything goes as planned. Schedule for Wednesday the 18th currently. We will post the details and update you if we need to adjust this a little bit, but that is our current plan and aim. Yeah, so the Clade is minor tweaks and Alvarine Runner's High addition. So when you have the speed boost, you also have a ability to strike through armors, kind of like a weak spot, but more limited. So that's something we want to test also during PTR and get your feedback on the numbers and values. We also started working on that. So there's a few gifts that are not really used, and we thought, well, some of them will not be used until later down the road, along with other features. So we thought we may as well replace them with something interesting and fun for everyone. So there will be at least one gift for each Clade. So we are looking into that. We haven't had time to finish all of those yet, replacing them. So we will, get back on that one and update exactly which one we're looking at. We are expecting them to be probably finished in the next patch. The game system is kind of like a little lottery system. I don't know if you played UO Super Sunday. It was quite popular to log in and play during the Super Sunday. This is a little bit inspired by that. It's also been like a opening for our new coder to get introduced to, both client and server side in a very good way, and tapping into some of the board game areas. So yeah, that's also one of the things that we could actually do if everyone agrees that there are some skill boosts, etc., and trinkets that are not used yet, but will be with thievery and such down the road. We could say, okay, let's scratch those and replace them with something else, instead of waiting for those skills and abilities to come into the game. That's absolutely a possibility we could do. If we find that suitable and the community wants that to happen, we could make it happen. Yeah, maybe during the PTR we can get some feedback on that and see what we may want to update on those that are not used yet. We see the point, absolutely. Kite shields are coming, but we don't have a date on it yet. We added the smallest and biggest ones, and then we have the in-betweens. Kite shields are one of those. The one that lowers range of aggro do absolutely work. We have tested it and we actually have players utilizing it very well in the jungle. So it's absolutely working. But the night vision is true. The night vision for all clades are not enabled yet. We could replace those and have their night vision added later. You know, we have a few options there. We have the night system finally fully working in Unreal Engine 5, so we can utilize the night vision in the way we intended, but we haven't had the time to do it yet. Yes, performance improvement is a big thing. As I mentioned, Unreal 5.4 comes with performance improvement in the render pipeline, and we are working on the character optimization to help a lot. That's one of the big things, right? You always have a lot of character around you. Even though you're in a city and you don't see people directly, they're still around you and have quite the cost on your CPU. So we are quite heavily CPU bound, and we're working on exactly that to optimize it. And that will happen in steps. There may be one step in this patch, and then we have multiple steps in another or two patches coming off that will make an impact on the FPS when players are around you. Stop playing when subs hit. Started again with second support pack. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Exporn Star. All right. Where is fetch and kill penalty going to be? Because I need to be big to stop fletching Fleckery. So you will lose more standings and you will get experience loss. The Clade Master experience will go down if you kill a fledgling also. And a new points of interest. There are some polishing and fixing in the dungeon as well, in the jungle area. That there were some issues with mobs going through some of the walls and you know, some strange behavior around those areas. We have done a polishing pass there, found the cause of that issues and solved those. Oh, we're also actually doing a big one. We are reworking the Nave mesh system to be more refined in the entire world. We have built tools to make it much more optimized. And this allows us to do a very important function. The AI will now only climb the same steep angle as a player can. And you know what that means, right? When they are fleeing from you nearby mountains and such. No, if a fledgling attack you, he will become a criminal just like normal, so you can kill him in self-defense. So, you know, the same rules applies for fledgling if they kill someone else innocent. There are some of those specific rules we're looking at, right? You know, if someone tries to utilize a fledgling in a siege, there are some rules we can toggle there in terms of what they can pick up, what they can interact with and not. And also in terms of being in a guild with a guild conflict or something like that. So those are the details we are looking at right now. How long does the fledgling stat last? So we currently have it on like 180 hours, I think, for the account. But obviously that's something that can be changed very easily. Also based on feedback and PTR. So yeah, I think, I mean, like I said, probably forgot quite a few important big fixes that you're gonna enjoy reading the patch notes, but these are the main areas and topics that we have been working on getting back in the new office setup with improved efficiency. So yeah. Oh, and yeah, we're also doing some of the work when it comes to balancing the pets. You know, like we said a long time ago, we wanted to reduce the passive attack power and increase the manual attack power in terms of the abilities. So that's something also we have been doing. You know, you will be able to bring your pets out, kill mobs, do raids and such to gain experience, and that experience will be added to your pets to gain levels. Kranik, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Go, 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 go. So yeah, some of that pet leveling love for any pet users. Yeah, so we are tweaking the pet abilities, strength on them. So again, we greatly appreciate feedback on that on PTR. If some of them are, you know, too difficult to perform while moving, we have options to change that. And of course, the strength of them now when their passive attacks are reduced. We want to counter that with, you know, buffing utilities. And also, you don't use the focus anymore to increase the base damage. You only use the focus to perform the abilities with greater impact. So it does the same passive attack with or without focus. So that's the change to get it better aligned. What the Unreal Engine are now? Is it 5.4 for motion capture? We are on 5.3 on live, but internally we have moved over to 5.4, and that is what we put on PTR next week. Yeah. So a lot of love for pet users. You know, you can just perform an attack, an utility without having it attacking already. There's been some tweaks to make it just better, more flow and more player skill involved. No, I did comment on the free-to-play Haven earlier in the stream. We don't have the official date, but we're working towards that. We have a big plan for when it comes to marketing different steps we are doing, and one of the final step there is Haven free-to-play. So I didn't plan to reveal the little game system we are starting with, other than like I said, it's kind of like a lottery system. Ultimate Line Super Sunday. Like I said, the new coder are getting very quickly into our pipeline, and I have been building this system pretty much fully on his own, and it's finished. We are polishing and testing now, and I had quite a blast working on it. You will see it quite soon, and hopefully you will enjoy it. Do you still have to wait for loyalty to go up before they gain experience? Now you just have to kill a mob to get experience when you have your pet nearby, and it will gain experience towards its level. So it will be much more, manual, gameplay using your pet out in the world, and it will level quite fast. So obviously we want feedback on that as well. We want to find a good level of progression, but instead of standing there passively hitting a dummy, you can go out and do tasks, dungeons with your friends, solo or not solo, and your pet will also get levels along with these experience gains. So there's a lot of bug fixes and polish, as I mentioned a moment ago. We have looked at the survey that you guys have been giving us, and we have put like a top 20 in terms of frequency, how many people have, you know, commit those kind of bugs or quality of life. And we have we already taking a few of those that are on the top 10 in this patch. Obviously it haven't been long since we got the survey finished with all the data, so we're gonna use this in upcoming patch as well to try to catch, you know, a lot in the top that we know a lot of you guys want to see fixed or improved or focused on in terms of quality of life functions into the game. The broker is one of them. We have that lined up as well, but it's not going to make this patch, but it's an example of a quality patch. Yeah, a lot of people, let me see, it's actually our number 1 on quality of life changes. Better broker search function and stuff like that. So we know that's a highly requested one. It's by far the majority of all requests. So we're gonna absolutely fix that one, but it's not gonna make this one. The code that we have available for that is doing something first, and then we will proceed on that. What is this fletching flag? So I see people are arriving late to the show. A quick summarize again what the fledgling is. You know, new players. We're looking at a lot of data when it comes to new players finding the game, playing the game, loving the game, and reasons some of them quit or struggle with, or, you know, it requires for a player to invest a certain amount of hours into a game before you feel, you know, what's going on, what is this game all about. And right now there's quite a lottery depending on where they start in the world, who they run into. It can be either the best experience ever or a quite awful experience without being able to learn, you know, much of the game world in Midland, and just get killed instantly outside a city or something. And that means we are losing a necessary amount of new players that haven't had a time or chance to actually get into the game to get a feel for it. You know, it doesn't matter if you die and lose your stuff, but if you're new and coming from any MMO in the world, you feel like, holy shit, how can I get back on track? How can I do anything in this game? But I've quite quickly learned in the game that, like many of you guys are saying, you know, you can craft your own gear or buy it for a small buck in the game. It's quite easy to get on back on your feet. But as a completely new player, that is a new experience, and we want to help them with this new experience to get into the game a little bit more until, you know, anything goes. At the same time, we don't want to have artificial limitations where you can't attack someone in Milan. That wouldn't go well, right, with our game. But we want to, you know, we even talk to some of the players that likes playing a murder, and that's fine. You know, our game world can have murders, but we talk to them to see, you know, what would motivate them to go for murder players that actually knows the game a little bit, maybe have something of value or can even fight back a little bit, rather than just play someone that just started in Milan and have nothing, and just be a bad experience for even both. So having a fledgling allows anyone to see this is a new player, you know, I can actually help him and benefit from it. And we're even looking at a program similar to you had, and also a few other MMOs had, where if you are helpful and help this new player fledgling, he may have the ability to give you a reward, and both get the reward. So we have an incentive to actually help new players into the game before we can start wars or whatever we want to do, right? And the fledgling is the first step for that, to show this is a new player, you know, we can help them out. And also know that if we do decide to kill them, it's going to cost me more rather than just a few standings. And of course, if there comes abuse, we're gonna strike hard and look into that if we need to add or change any rules and mechanics. Obviously, the hours in game we may need to adjust, but you know, we wanna start with PTR on this, so we are grateful for any feedback on it. But you understand the background behind the fledging, that it can be used both for incentive to help players and get rewards for helping them, and you know, hopefully make less interested in killing a fledgling. In MO1 you couldn't kill a fledgling. That was a huge difference, Mother, right? Remember, you couldn't kill a fledgling. You can kill a fledgling in Mortal 2. That is why we have a longer timer. Obviously, if you're invulnerable, you can't be killed, then it's much more sensitive to abuse, right? So that's a very important difference between MO1 and MO2. You can still be killed as a fledgling. With 6 performance increase effect live servers, it would just be in-house one. So the one here on Sprint 2, next generation server update, that is on the game server. So that will affect you, the players, and all the game mechanics in the world, which means specific actions and happens from movement to fighting. All that is calculated on different servers, and the longer latency between all these calculations, the slower that response happens in the game, right? So the lower latency we can have on those calculations, the more quickly it responds in the game, right? So we're looking forward to see if you can notice that performance in the different areas of the game. Like I said, there are different types of calculation, from movement to combat to striking, shoot spells, arrows, trading, looting. All of that is actions on the server calculated that there's always a latency on all these different actions, and the lower that is, the more responsive it is, right? And 60%, that's a huge increase on the server, so we can see a huge difference on all the ticks on the server with the new hardware. So hopefully you will also notice some of that improvement in responsiveness on certain actions. So that is on the game server. We also happen to upgrade our internal servers and network to be 10 times faster. You know, we are much greater capacity to upload patches. You know, it takes time to upload huge patches to Steam, you know, evaluate it, test it, and send it up. And all that have been increased efficiency as well, so we can ship them up 10 times faster. So work hours for us will be more efficient, and we can also patch a little bit faster. So it's two different things we are upgrading. Yes, we know about guild tabards. So we are still planning some of the big steps on the upcoming sprints. We have since we had vacation and we just got back, we have only had time to kind of, you know, focus on sprint 6. Moving the office and the network structure have also taken a little bit time. So as soon as, you know, we have a little bit more breathing room, we will finalize the other steps in the upcoming sprints, which hopefully also allows us then to finally reveal those sprints on a roadmap, so you can see a little bit more ahead rather than just one patch. We know guild tabards is a big one, right? So we wanna fit that early in our upcoming sprints. Like I said, good news, we have a total of 2 new coders as well join the team, and they're getting quickly into the pipeline, which is awesome to see. So we can slowly expand on what we can cover during our sprints. Runners high addition apply to bows. Yes. Otterus Vow, I did comment on your question regarding the bug and the fixes and polish. So I gone through it 2 times. I try to not repeat myself too much. I know some of you guys join in later and obviously want to ask about some of these things that I just gone through. But we try to do a summarize video after this and put it on YouTube as well, so I don't repeat myself too much for the ones that are in here since the beginning. I hope you understand. Let me jump down to see, actually read some repetitive questions here. The animal care work will still tick in the background, so it will just be added double up. So let me, yeah, I'm a little bit behind. Sorry guys, I'm up to date now. The broker that I also commented on, it is, we saw it was one of the biggest requests on the quality of life. It's just that we don't fit it in this sprint. Hopefully it will be in the next one. But yes, that's been a high request on quality of life. So we know it's highly desired to make browsing goods on a broker much more convenient. And yes, that is the bit we're going to add, so you can tag a trinket on whatever, and you will find those trinkets. It absolutely makes sense. Do you plan on put 100% customized house in the future? So we did have that in the first game. It was cool in the beginning, and in the end, we only saw boxes everywhere. And it does come at a cost. I mean, we could have that kind of system like some other games are focusing on, you know, having high focus on house building. It comes at the costs on the client and server, so you always have to prioritize a little bit what should be the main focus of our game in terms of cost and what we can do that are unique in our game, like large scale battles. We all know that's something that is possibly Mortal 9, have been since the birth of Mortal. We've seen some of the world's largest battle ever in Unreal 4 with surprisingly good performance. That performance have been hit under Unreal 5, and we want to get that performance back. Obviously, we can reach those 400 plus players again without crippling the FPS way too much, making it unplayable in PvP. I mean, I've seen quite impressive battles on Unreal 5. But if you throw in a few more players, it quickly go down in the FPS, right? So we are not happy with the performance in Unreal 5 in terms of large-scale battles, and we already begun on that work. So surprisingly good. It depends on which fight I'm talking about. When I'm talking about the one where the what the hell is the battle between Act and you know, the Act battle. That was a battle that lasted for several hours. It peaked 450 players. I was watching Bardo's stream. He was running around with 20 FPS. Not very good FPS, but still quite amazing to have 450 characters on the screen, being the most complex character, best looking MMO in the world, with real-time traces and collision. That is surprisingly good performance, period. And we can obviously improve that with our new systems, which we work on. We are not in the same performance in Unreal 5, so that's something we're working on currently. We already begun that work. Yeah, and then we are working on some of the, you know, long term. We know a lot of you guys are hungry for PvP TC conflicts action that can be ongoing. We have two components there, right? We have the Relic War, and we have dimension runs, we call them, but also similar to Hellgates, Albion, if player knows how that works. Two components that we know will bring a lot of endgame guild conflicts, group conflicts from large scale to small scale. So, you know, we are trying to pick one of those in one of our upcoming sprints. The question is if we want dimension runs or relic wars first. That's a good question, right? They were quite similar on the previous voting map. Just for the fun of it, we could make a quick poll here, just for the fun of it, obviously, right? Too many votes. Obviously not correct way of voting, but just for the fun of it, right? I'm excited for both features because they bring some really cool components to the game in different forms. I would say the Relic War is unique in a way that there will be multiple relics dropping from the sky, and they will be visible across the world. So you will see the trail going down and you can run there. The relic will be so hot entering the ground first, so no one can pick it up for X amount of minutes, so people have time to go there, and obviously that means conflicts, I would assume. And then you can pick it up. Sometimes it's an item you can use on the battlefield. Sometimes you just have to bring it to your TC base and put it in a very specific building to obtain its power to your guild. So it's a cool thing. And you can at any time siege a relic building and claim that item to bring it to your base. You can never log out with it. You can never store it or lock it away. So it will always be persistent in the game world. You can always go there and interact with it. So it's an ever-going conflict. And there will be multiple types that you can fight for forever, you know? So that's going to be a cool thing. Obviously, Dimension 1, Hell Gates, you can recognize that a little bit from Albion if you play that, Hell Gates. You enter a specific portal to a dimension where there are obviously different types of threats. And there are specific energy that allows you to only bring so much with you, manpower. And in the other gate, the equal amount. So it will be equal amount of PvP conflicts. So it won't be the one, okay, they're surging us. They're always 200 people and we only 20. You know, the never-ending thing. That is up to for the players to decide if they have the manpower or not. It's, you know, it's stuff that always happens. While in some of these terms that would be specific in different types of gates with different powers and rule sets. If you jump in there, the gates will close after a certain amount of energy spent. And then, of course, only one group can come out alive from this place, again, due to the energy. So you have to fight your way through and make it alive and cross the dimension back to middle dimension. So, and there are specific tiers of this, how you can access, enable some of these gates. Some of them are out in the wilderness, right? Some of them you can activate in certain ways, but there will be different rewards. So that's also something that are pretty much ongoing on a daily basis, from rare types to more common types. So yeah, I think both is pretty cool in their different ways and bring interesting content to the game. And it looks like, where the hell did the vote go? So Dimension 1 in this vote won by 70%. Quite a lot, quite a lot. Do we have a lot of Albion players in here, maybe? Will there be PvE in Dimension runs? Yes. Like I said, there will be a few different ones. There are different dimensions in Mortal 9. You know, obviously you know the living and you know the other world, right? Those are two dimensions. Then we have the Grey Halls that are different types of dimension with different rule set and very interesting things. And this can also be expanded on, obviously, in terms of fitting the lore. Mats have a lot of content for this one. So there can be very strong component in terms of PvE in this as well. But also, obviously, PvP at all times. Well, they're not fully instanced because you can go in there, but there is a limitation on how much and who you can bring, right? Because that is some of the rules behind these gates. They can only bring so much, which does kind of force them to equal amount if they decide to obviously bring the forces in group and enter them in a efficient way. But that's also something a lot of people have been complaining on. You rarely find a equal fair fight because the nature of humans, you know, you can do fair fights whenever you want, but does the enemies, you know, your opponents do the same thing, or will they always serve you? That's up to the players in an open world without limitations, right? But these dimension and gates have certain amount of energy that kind of forces equal numbers if you utilize the full energy amount to bring with you, if you understand what I mean. Yeah, same amount of numbers can go into each gate. So obviously that's up to you, right? To fill it or not fill it. And like I said, there are different types of gates that allows less or more. Yeah, so we appreciate all the feedback on the fledgling flag. Obviously, like I said, you can always kill a fledgling, but there will be more consequences to it because the purpose behind a fledgling is for new players, right? Obviously, if players find abuse of it, we will do everything we can to remove that abuse and obviously add functions that could prevent some obvious abuse that people would do. So we appreciate all the feedback on it, right? It's something that we're going through currently. On the two parties. So again, you know, this is just the beginning. There can be multiple dimensions with multiple rules, multiple gates, entrances for multiple groups, right? There can be three-way conflicts for three different groups with equal numbers. So again, it's kind of endless. We just open up for the system and have a base, and then depending on success and what people may want to see additions to it, and as long as it fits what we are aiming for, it could be expanded further. Just like TC can be expanded heavily over time as well with new functions and services. Like broker, a lot of people have been asking for broker, so we plan to obviously add broker as a TC function as well and plan that. Please make gates appear in the world. That is the plan. So yeah, that is my update on Sprint 6. We're gonna put this on a roadmap as well for those that have missed it to get a little summarize of what's coming in the next patch. And like I said, currently scheduled for PTR next week. If everything goes as planned, we may adjust if needed, but we will update you on website and the community. Why the subscription? Good question, but we need to pay the upkeep expenses to continue to develop this game. We're not just making one game and selling it once. We are building on the game, expanding on the game with more and more features, areas, lands, and all kind of things. And you can be part of choosing a lot of that content as well in the focus. All right, let's see. We have a little giveaway to cover today as well. We also started some exciting thing in the background that we're gonna reveal soon enough. I'm very excited for the upcoming months. Like I said, everyone back, increase the team a little bit, increase efficiency in development, We have some really cool content to deliver. Next, we're going to be on the latest engine that is improved in many ways. We have some really cool content that I think you will enjoy in upcoming sprints. Would it be similar in terms to what IU does to young player status? Yeah, a little bit. Young player status was a fairly new feature in UO. Obviously, I started playing when it was released. Then there was nothing, but again, they ran into all the struggles and challenges, pros and cons that a true sandbox MMO can do, right? So obviously, we tried to utilize some of that experience that I also got from that game, but I started when it was without anything. And you know, the later generation today are more used to more hand-holding and safe ways, you know, World of Warcraft types of MMOs. So we need to introduce them in a fair way, but still stay true to the core rules, right? Imagine an MMO to give a winner with Fledgling tag. Indeed. All right, shall we move on to this little baby? I think it's time for our giveaway. So we have that done. So let's sign up for !MO2. And we will have that going. So we actually have a little special extra giveaway today that I want to announce by request from a cool guild called Wolfsight. I usually butcher that name, Wolfsight. But I think I got it right the first time this time. Wolfsight, not shite. Indeed. Wolfsight. It's one of those tricky German words. Wolfsight. Wolfsight. We have a little sponsorship from Wolfsight that got a additional copy as a community gift. So very generous of Wolfsight to offer that in this stream. So we will also hand out that one after the classic ammo give out. So there will be 2 keys this stream. So yeah, thank you to Wolfsight. So I will just give it a minute and then I will roll the first one. So how about you guys? Have you managed to have a summer vacation? Have you been home and playing, or have you been traveling the world? I've been working, holding the castle while the team got a well-deserved vacation. Vacation minding my granum, eh? Been working too. FK working while playing. Outside world, what is that, man? Been waiting for a 3 to 6 sprint roadmap, Henny. I know, Slappy Joe, I know. I have outlined it, but I do want to have it fully confirmed with our main developers as well, so we don't have to rearrange it instantly after. That wouldn't be fun, right? We try to make it as accurate as possible, so we don't have to rearrange it when we have posted it, because, you know, we fully understand people may be upset if we push things around or move things around. It may be necessary, but we try our best in trying to stay true to the roadmaps that we do present. But sometimes things happens, right, in the development, and we may have to adjust some things. So yeah, we're starting with this sprint. Obviously, we're getting close to deliver this one with PTR starting next week if things goes as planned. And I'm gonna try to finalize the upcoming sprints as well, so we can show a few more. So there's more, long-term roadmap for people to follow. I managed to get 4 days in Spain. So yes, I did recover a little bit. But I actually, quite ironically, when I was talking to a company that I was going to do a business meeting with, and I said I can't because I'm going to be in Spain, and they said, well, we are located in Spain, where are you going to be? And I said, in that location, that's exactly where this company was located. So we managed to do a business face-to-face in Spain during my vacation time, so that was pretty nice. But oh my gosh, it was way too hot, 34, 35 degrees. So yeah, I just had to stay in water constantly. But it was nice to get a few days off, to get some energy relaxment that is needed. I don't remember last time I was away. During the 10 years of work, I can count the vacation days on my hands. But extremely passionate about this project. It is very fun to work with the different aspects of the development, and again, we are improving a lot of things, more efficiency. We've been doing a lot of work on new design for our GMs and tools. We know how vital and important it is to always keep a fair game, to be able to have very effective tools to handle any customer issues or support that goes hand in hand with this game. And I know the GMs are doing their absolutely best, but we have gone through a lot of that in depth and see where do we suffer the most, and the players may suffer the most if something goes wrong. So we've been actually spending a lot of time in designing tools in the back end to be able to more efficiently follow up on things, confirm things, and handle more things in an efficient way. So that's also something we're deploying in the background. Maybe not something cool on the roadmap. It's nothing cool in the patch notes, but very valuable, important tools for our company to have, and just to be able to help the players better and have proper tools, and making sure it's a fair gameplay for everyone in game. We, number one thing is to make sure we help our players to enjoy the game. If something goes wrong, there's a bug involved, we really care about having that under control and help with that and fix it as soon as we can. And of course, also battling players that are breaking the rules or cheating. That's always a number one concern and priority for us in the team. And it does take a lot of time from us. We have to throw away some development time sometime to build new tools or functions to be able to handle this, to again, always make sure we have a fair game for everyone. So sadly, that does take some time from our development time every now and then, but it's necessary. We know it, and it's for the better of for the game. Boats, the bad thing. Indeed. We have wagons and boats. The question is where that gonna be on the sprints. But there's a lot of cool content tied to those that I'm personally looking forward to. There have been requirements in the systems that we haven't been able to fully cover. We actually took the first step with our double mount, the mount system we have in the game. You can be 2 player on 1 mount. That actually gave us 1 system step closer to the wagon. And the final step for the wagon will also give us the boat system that we will require. And to tie to boat, we obviously want to have the crafting system, and obviously we want to have reasons to go out by the sea, right? Treasures, sea creatures, SOS bottles, pirating, So obviously a lot of content ties to a well-released boat patch, but obviously that's going to be a huge nice expansion somewhere down our roadmap. All right, shall we do the first giveaway, guys? So if you only sign up once for the giveaway, you don't have to do it a second time to get a chance for the second giveaway. So one time is enough. And here goes the first giveaway. All right, let me just start it. Let me hide that one, and here we go. Good luck. Boom. Whoops. There we go. First giveaway. Boom. Congratulations, Molomo2. Molomo2. Congratulations, Molomo2. Congratulations. Let's see. Do we got Molomo2 in here? Do we got him in here? Is he online? Is he here? Vamos, Molo. Vamos. He spoke. Did he? Did I miss him? Ah, there. Nice, nice. All right, all right. Send me a DM and I will pass the key. Molomo2. Molomo2. DM me here in Twitch so I can send it key. And updates and info if free to play Haven. So yeah, I did comment on it 2 times already earlier in the stream. We have a big lineup for our marketing steps. We already started, and one of those bigger steps in the end of this marketing step is free to play Haven. We don't have the exact date yet, but we are moving towards it. Molo M2, are you here? I sent you a DM. Are you able to respond to that? Did I miss anything on pets? Yes, I did cover the topics of pets update in this patch. I absolutely did. We're going to fix criticism. Yeah, so it was a necessary change for very specific reasons, and we do plan to revisit. There's a few things we were brainstorming how we can make it more engaging in a fun way, and also add to that reward. So we have a plan for it. We just need to pick where it fits in our upcoming patches. All right, we got a response. Molo MO2, are you a MO veteran or a newer player? Veteran, eh? Veteran, eh? Are we years in? Years. Oh, from MO1. That is indeed a veteran. That is veteran status. What is Henrik's definition of a vet? Well, being from MO1 kind of automatically makes you a vet, I would say. MO2 vet obviously means you need to be here since the login bus, I would say. Or simply surpassing around 3 3,000 hours at least. Do you agree? Or do we need a few more than that? 3,000 hours? Would that make you a vet? I think so too, right? Yeah? Something along that, maybe. Rook numbers, at least 6k. He's shooting high. He's shooting high. Vet is 7,000, eh? Is it? You think 3k is too far away from vet? 10k. There's not that many, I think, that have the 10k, eh? 1k plus. I think you need to be at least 3k, right? At least. I'm not MO2 vet then. Dip. Come on, man. Or you're not from MO1. Which automatically makes you a MO vet, right? There's 10k hours on each character. That is impressive. And there's 4 I count with 2 cars each. That is beyond it. Reich with the MO1 flex, eh? Alright, shall we roll the second giveaway? You don't have to sign up again. If you already signed up once, you're still in the list. So just if you just joined and you haven't signed up, you can. How do you feel about town games like dice or card games? We do have dice, but just in a more simplistic way. Obviously, we want to have the more on-table functions, right? We're getting one small, cool little game, kind of lottery game, with this patch that I'm find quite enjoyable. It's a cool little thing. Obviously, it's going to be expanded on over time as well. Can't wait another month for roadmap. Let's stream again in 2 weeks and get the roadmap going. You know, we may be able to just update the roadmap without a stream. I don't have to present it. Obviously, there's often questions regarding them, right? Because it's just icons and some may be guessing and speculating. So it's always good to present them in that way. We have to see, right? Like I said, there's a few things we need to catch up on now since we moved the office and servers. We dropped a few manpower investments, but now we are finally up and running with increased speed, and we have PTR around the corner, so we don't wanna delay due to other reasons. We want to deliver this because next I have some really juicy content that many of you will look forward to. So we want to deliver this one. It's a huge step to move over to Unreal 5.4. A huge step. It's not the same as the other from 5.1 to 5.2 to 5.3. Those were minor patches in the engine without, you know, affecting us too much. This one is a huge one. It goes everywhere. We had to update all libraries and systems in so many ways. You know, DirectX is updated. We have to remove DirectX 11, so there's a lot to test on PTR. So this is a big step, but it also improves and fixes a lot of things. So hopefully it will be smooth. We will see on PTR. It's planned for next week, 18th, if everything goes as planned. So 1 week from now. All right, giveaway time. Round 2, eh? Again, shout out to Wolfsight that is sponsoring this second giveaway to the community. So thanks to Wolfsight, everyone. And let's roll the dice then, shall we? Again, you don't have to sign up again if you're already done. But let's see. Where do we have it? All right. Good luck. Second round. Bam! Party hard! Chicka boom! Congratulations, Paladin Roz. Paladin Roz. Let's see. We got Paladin Roz in the house. Paladin Roz in the house. Did we get Paladin Roz in the house? Paladin Roz in the house. Send a DM, Paladin Roz. Paladin Roz in the house? Paladin Roz in the house. Is he here? Let's give him a moment to reach out. Paladin Roz. Bad time to AFK. Indeed, indeed. You haven't said anything here, right? An update info some rogue archetype skills. So we have rogue type skills. You know, we have the thievery skills, lockpicking, snooping, stealing, right? And we have assassination fields. We're talking about poisoning, traps. They go a little bit hand in hand. That kind of profession type. We haven't, again, fully set the date for these. There's a lot to choose from. No, the one I'm talking about right now is not for this patch. This is the Sprint 6, which is... or back to work patch, I call it, Sprint 6. It's a huge core update, again, engine 5.4. So it's not fully packed with huge systems, but there are some juice, and a lot of fixes. We need res sickness timer increased. Do we think so? Do we need to increase the res timer sickness? Is it too short? No, yes. Not the timer, no. We need for 2 mins, yes, for sure. I don't believe that needs to be done. Is it a 50-50? It's so unique to see a majority saying like 95 yes or no. How different we are, right? How different we all are. Do vote. For the fun of it. Could do a vote. But you see, this is why it's impossible to make everyone happy, since everyone wants so different things. I added a third option, which means instead of changing the rest timer, you get a stat penalty, sickness. So you get weaker and weaker if you keep doing it. And it takes time to recover that sickness. You recognize it from some games, I think, right? Just one third possible option. I guess it ruins the yes-no quite hard. But I want to see if it pops out, which it doesn't so far. But yeah, it's... Well, my third option, I don't know where I would go either in yes or no. So it makes it a little bit skewed, I guess. But again, it's nothing standing out too hard. And this can be applied to almost everything in the game. That's why it makes it such a difficult task to make a true sandbox game that have so many dynamic open system, and there's so much personal opinions on everything, right? So, like I said, it's gonna always be impossible to make everyone happy. We try to make sure we have the red line, stay true to what Mortal Line 2 is, and then we know we can't make everyone happy, right? But if there are rare circumstances where people say this is a no-brainer for the community, we want yes or no, like 90% close, then it's easier for us, right? But it's so rare to have that kind of majority. In this case, we're looking at yes 48%, no 31%, stat sickness 21%. So the third option seems like, okay, that's not worth investigating at all. It's just a matter of should we tweak this sickness rest timer. And it won with 47%. So not a 100% given, or majorly given, right? It's clear community won't change though, with 47%. You think that's clear? It's also a fraction in here, right? So it's gonna show a little bit. It may show similar ratio if you scale it up with a few thousand players voted, but it could also change, right? 7% with third option included, but that means you put all third as a yes, which may not be the... Just do a yes or no poll. All right, just for you, all right? Just for you. All right, final round. Yes or no? This shows true percentage from the people in here, which is obviously only a fraction of the player base voice. But sometimes it's correct indication. There are no specific RC changes in the patch other than the weak spot hit Elven Gift that also works with bows. We need these pulsing game, Henrik. I know, I fully know. I know. And we agree. It's on our table. We started that work. We're gonna try to finish that in one of our sprints so we can get direct tap into in-game voices. That's obviously the best way to do it. Zero of your friends played the game longer than 3 days. Always curious of what main reason those were for those players. But we also know this game is not for everyone. But for those that it is a game for, it's everything. But we also know there's, potential 1 million plus players out there that may love and enjoy Mortal 9 if they only find it, which is obviously the step we are moving towards now, to make awareness and make players find the game. Every day a new player find a game and say, what the hell is this? I didn't know it existed, and I'm loving it so far. And then of course there are players that find it looks cool, jumping right into it and say, well, I can kill and get looted, holy shit, no, I don't want that, it's too harsh for me. Obviously they bounce, right? Another one, top tier Mitch, thank you very much. Any Halloween event plans? We always try to do that, and if it doesn't gives too much chaos for our schedules, we will try to make it happen. Okay, so 64% this time. All right, a little bit more, but still not, what is the MMO? The old MMO that have to reach, what is it, 75% before the developers are looking at it. What MMO am I talking about, guys? You know which one I mean. They have a community voting like that, right? And if it's over 75 or something, old school, yes, RuneScape. I think that's it, right? I think they use that mechanic or old school RuneScape in-game option. If it's a strong indication of 75% 50% plus, something like that, they consider it. So they wouldn't have considered this sick, this poll if this was the case. But yeah, like I said, obviously this is not a fair comparison in terms of in-game voices. We want to add all those important polls in-game so we can get a click from everyone playing, which will be a few thousand, obviously, which shows us maybe a different story, right? Also a good way to have votes. Okay, you can pick from these 3 features which one do you want in the next patch. Bam, and we got it, and we make it happen. So we want to make that. Account bound master poll. Yeah. What are new updates? Is the in-game voting finished for the roadmap? No, we don't have the in-game voting yet. We haven't added that yet. Appreciate that you let the community decide so much, but some things shouldn't be decided that way. For example, things that only affect a few people in or outside the community. Obviously, we always need to be careful, right? What kind of voting power we give to the community. What we try to do is we have so much exciting things we want to add to the game, and we can only guess and speculate based on feedback and requests and questions every stream and in the forums and Discord what players may want most. If we see a lot of players keep repeating, we want this, you know, it may be an indication that, okay, there's a high demand on this feature. But obviously making a huge in-game poll out of a few options we're choosing from, because for us it doesn't matter what order we do. Some of them we do because there are requirements to do some other things, so we kind of build a puzzle. But when there are cases like, okay, it doesn't matter what order we do any of these 5 features, for instance, and we can see overwhelmingly votes for one of them, then obviously we want to add that earlier in a sprint rather than way down the road, right? To make as many players as excited as possible for upcoming patches. And this road is long. We have so much and very cool features and content to be adding, you know, for years to come. So of course, in that case, it makes sense for us to get some inputs. We're choosing by all these X amount, and you know, hearing from you guys what you would like to see earlier rather than later helps us to pick and choose some of it. But obviously it doesn't mean that we let anyone add a new vote that goes against the core rules, that, you know, now we're not mortal anymore, now we're heading into something way different. That's something we're not really up for doing, obviously, right? We wanna, you know, there's not lack of features and content on our game design. It's just a matter of which one does most players want now and under this year rather than, you know, later or next year. Sophisticus, thank you very much, appreciate it. We do our best with what we have. Rogue theory skill soon, please. I think the rogue theory wasn't too high, which was a little bit surprisingly on the vote we did last time. I think it was somewhere in the mid. But yeah, we covered the top, what was it, 10 something from the ones that was picked. Yeah, the like areas is gonna obviously get their full potential when we added the jumping ability and the slope angle penalties, because that's where the like area surpasses a horse. And those are not insane tasks for us to cover, but if we add 50 tasks of various kind, and obviously again we need to start prioritizing a little bit. So that's why we also want the in-game votes faster, because there could be some of those smaller features, but again, we have so many that we want to take a look. All right, that concludes the giveaway. So we are on the ending note here. They get a buff to their stamina ability. I'm not 100% sure. I need to take a little look on its stats to get an update to see if it's aligned where it should be. A little bit compared to how it was in the first game. That is like a comparison. But like I said, we are missing the jump ability. We have prepared all the creatures to be able to jump. We just haven't added the code support yet. We are getting more coders, so we're getting more code manpower to cover some of these in upcoming sprints. Obviously, being able to jump over obstacles will be effective things, and obviously also right up steeper angle will leave your horses in the dust, right? The giveaway for subkeys. We don't have support for that, I'm afraid. Not at this point, at least. We are building tools because I don't want to nag Sebastian to do database queries in specific data. So we're actually adding a few backend tools now. When we're adding some important required backend tools, we're also adding tools that allows me to do queries in an effective way, in a safe way, to get more data in almost real time rather than collectible over a period of times. And some of that data can also be shared with the community, such as Clade preferences, neutral stats, but interesting stats to see, how Clade preferences changes over a period of time, which have happened multiple times since beta. We've seen all the Clades go in different directions based on popularity and choices of the player base. And, we have a very high usage of all of them, which we were never even remotely close to in the first game. There was extreme variation in the first game. You were only this race, period, and this setup. You had these two options, and that's it. In Mortal Line 2, we have all clades very much used. And they have some pros and cons, naturally, obviously also. Some shines more in group play, some shines more in solo play. Out in the world, in crowded areas, etc. And that's something we're quite happy to see. And people prefer different clades. That's obviously one of our goals, to make sure there's interesting choices for many different personalities and opinions, right? Thank you very much, Moose Walker. Just what I needed. Can we see the other sprints? Not yet. The order of them is not 100% decided yet. And since we have done the office swap, changing, moving, it's been taking a little bit of time to set up the new servers. And we also took the opportunity to update the structure of that to make it much faster, more efficient, and also secured, obviously. So that have taken a little bit of time to set up. But now we are gaining time every day when it's up in a new way, because everything goes about 10 times faster for the development in general. Updating and downloading, updating your work environment. We are working with several terabytes of data, and obviously when we have 20 people exchanging that data on a daily basis, there's bottlenecks, right? And we have greatly improved those bottlenecks. So work environment should be faster, more efficient, and also helps us to upload and do patches faster. Both building them and uploading them will be faster. So we're gaining back the time we lost a few days to do the move and set up everything, but we're going to gain them back over time, and every single week thereafter is going to be a a small gain every day. Welcome back. I hope all is well and everyone is healthy. Indeed, thank you very much. We are all fueled up for a exciting couple of months leading to Christmas. It's crazy. It feels like we were just in summer and now we're heading straight to Christmas, guys. It's gonna be a blink of a moment, and we're gonna sit here with the Santa hat on, snowy, and we have what the hell is our Santa name? Jesus, I'm dropping words. Yeah, the Raffabacks, but what is our name of this? Our Santa. Collecting Raffleback Krampus. Exactly, thank you. I got a brain swap. Getting old, Henrik. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I keep dropping words. Today I was struggling to find where the hell am I streaming. I couldn't find a streaming software, and I forgot about the name. It's OBS. Scares me a little bit. Is that age, guys? Is that age? I need to do brain exercises. But yeah, you feel energized. Had a few days vacation this summer, and the team got a nice vacation as well. So they are hungry for action for the rest of this year. This age, come on, Charlie 50, say it's stress. I think it's a mixture of stress and a little age, right? There's Ogme Pipe Man. Need to play more Mortal to stay mentally alert. It's actually accurate statement to Quebec. Playing video games where you need some twitch speed movements actually helps a lot. Give you good brain exercises. Every old person should be playing Mortal for many reasons, you know. Engaging with the world, across the world, safely from home, but also using your brain to do all kind of things. And obviously having a combat in Mortal put some positive stress on your, what do you call it? Both brain and twitch skills, right? I think we have a huge mix, Aaron. From 20 to what, 60 something? What is the oldest players we have in the game? We have quite a few that are in that age range, if I'm not mistaken, that are spending a lot of time in Mortal and doing quite well. 60 probs. Yeah, I know for sure we have a few in the 60 range that are doing well in Mortal. You know, knowledge in this game goes a long way. You know, not only those Twitch skills bring you fortune and success, which is cool. 54, I know one. All right. We have two in the 70s. There you go. Quite an impressive spectrum from 20, I guess we even have 18th, right? Up to 70. That's impressive. And also 160 comes from Ultima. Yeah, I mean, if you are from Ultima, you are getting slowly into age. I started Ultima when I was a kid. But yeah, you know. Patrick and Velik are late 60, early 70. Alright. I feel quite young again, guys. I'm 37, but my back feels 70. That's the problem. When you're approaching 40, the back is gonna feel like 70 eventually. Mortal is an old man game. Well, it does allow to older generation to enjoy their time in Mortal, that's for sure. But we also have a lot of young people that have a little bit less patience, I would say, and a little bit more swing happy, I would say. Nothing wrong with that, but you know, it's a nice spectrum. Our oldest players in the guild was like 67. He randomly stopped playing. I hope he's still out there. For sure. I mean, these types of game and similar games are that type of game, you can take short breaks, long breaks, take a little scouting the different patches, and every now and then there may be a patch that may pull in different players again. That's one of the beauty with it, just like I've done in Ultima Line, Star Wars Galaxies, Evil Line, and some other MMOs. Oldest player I met in the MMOs so far was 78 years old. That's impressive, that's impressive. Quite impressive when you are in that age range and you are able to play this type of game, because obviously mostly the older generation is not used to use a computer at all, and they just miss out on all this world, the world that could, you know, keep them young and fresh in their mind, because they're interacting with people and you know, getting brain exercises. So I think it's a very healthy. There have been a lot of studies lately that shows huge differences on the brain activity, health, and size if they are actually playing these types of games. That really puts a little bit demand on your brain and twitch skill and coordination. The coordination thing is a huge thing for the brain health and size. Every older individual should be playing or find a game that they can play. That will help them a lot. Alzheimer's preventive, pretty much. Exactly. That's a huge thing. You know, early age, there were studies, premature studies that wasn't accurate, saying, well, they get violent because they kill players. And that may be true for some individuals, you know, but more and more studies are available that shows huge positive effect on the brain. Now, of course, there needs to be a balance, right? If children are refusing to do studies and life and eat food and sleep, then obviously it's taking way over control. That's on the parents, right? They need to set some boundaries. What's this, Henny? Hello, Nilis. So yeah, I should be jumping in more in the game to get that brain exercise, right? I was playing a lot of Quake tournament games quite regular all my age, and I was so quick. My response, god damn, I was quick, god damn. And then just taking a break for a few years from those games, you get slower, and you think, wow, am I getting old? Why am I slow? But no, if I just jump into those games again for a couple of days, I'm back. I'm almost back to where I was. Obviously, age do a little bit on the Twitch, right? But you can keep that fresh quite far. None can force me to eat food. A hunger for mortal. Indeed. Yo. Alright, guys. I'm hitting that 2-hour mark. If we don't have anything exciting or questions or topic we would like to cover, I think that is my cue. I think it's my cue. Oh shit, Paladin Ross, are you still here? I saw you responded, but I didn't give you the key. I apologize. Let me send you the key. Or do I have it? Great. Sorry for the delay. I got distracted. But here we go from Wolf Site Community Gift sponsor key. Good, we got that one. Paladin Ross was the winner. All right. Are you a veteran, ammo veteran, Paladin Ross? Always curious. Where's Rapier? It's coming. And entities we need to finalize as well, yes, before we proceed to next magic. And it's about Tapas upgrade regarding minimum rolls. No, I have to refresh what we got going there, but I'm not sure. Thank you. About 1 year now. All right, you're getting there, Paladin Ross, you're getting there. Not new anymore, that's for sure. Better gathering system and need ring effect to actually work. What do you mean with what ring effects? And what kind of better gathering are you suggesting? The bows that can become small and put in a backpack like EO. that is like the backpack horses also, right? I'm not sure if that fits mortal. It's a strange thing, but we do have harbors, right? Obviously where you can put your ships safely and store them, but you could also leave them out, maybe not as safe, just like you could in UO. But I'm not sure if you're gonna do pocket versions. I'm not sure it fits mortal. The super pack still. So Sebastian was supposed to close the supporter pack. He got extremely distracted by our server setup. And I have not checked if he have shut the supporter pack down yet. Let me take a quick look. It should be ending anytime soon. It looks to still be there. But yeah, he will be shutting it down anytime, any moment he are available. So I guess there are still last moment to grab one if someone missed out, but it's going to shut down as soon as Sebastian is available to hit that button. Do you want new weapons? You know, we are working on combat abilities. It's very careful work, from design balance to obviously animation of the abilities. Most base design and base draft is outlined, but we know how sensitive it is. Adding a pack of weapons is a little bit more straightforward. Quite easier to add without any risk of, you know, delaying. So it all depends on what we want to go for. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, we have actually converted Miasma, Cloud of Ash, and maybe Ulcers to same volume server entities that Elementalism uses. I have to confirm, so don't take my word 100% for it, but I think I saw that being logged, because that was one of the plan to convert them, right? So you don't need a target, you can place them there. But I have to confirm, but I think that could be in this patch, maybe. Get some new sort of variation. We have 5 types of each, right? Head and handles. Of course, we can add more of those. We also have a few different types that we want to add eventually. It was impossible to buy new support pack via Steam. It's a complicated process to set up. So those small, short availabilities may not be on all platforms. It was merely you know, this support pack, limited edition. No, all Clade Gifts are not finished. We have one for each that we're gonna replace because they're not used. But that is not making this sprint. Only one update to Alvarin, bypassing armor type of bonus. Yeah, armor would be cool. We just added one, right? We just added clothing and armor in our last patches so far. And it seems like a lot of people enjoy the latest armor. It's not in this patch, Henrik. Master Effect was improved. I could have sworn I saw a log from Alex Cover Grinds that he converted them. So we have to confirm, because why would that log be if it wasn't? But maybe I'm wrong. Yes, so let's confirm. Like I said, that's why I said don't take my word for it for this patch. I have to confirm. But I read a log from him, and I know he had been talking about that it was pretty much ready to be swapped, and I thought it was done, but I could be wrong. Let's confirm. ¿Dónde está el Uruguay? All right. Looks like this is my queue. I think this is it for me. All right. Feels good to be back in business with the full team. And it was a while ago since I did my last stream. So it's been fun meeting you guys again. Thank you for all your support as usual. Subscriptions, donations, and your questions. We highly appreciate it. So let's see. Do we have anyone streaming we should be rating today? We do have a few streamers. Shall we do our classical votes, perhaps? I think so. I think so. Let's see, who do we got? Got a few ones online today here. Let's pick a few of those. Bear with me, guys. One moment. Rans30 is playing. It's a very funny guy. Have you seen Rans playing? You know? Hilarious guy. Hilarious. We do a quick 1-minute vote. At Dragon Henrik, we have our first dragon ready, but the AI support for it is not. But obviously, we wanna finish it, right? Wait, it's done. It is. It is. We're gonna do a raid now. We're probably gonna make a little summarize of this stream and put it on YouTube as we usually do a day after or so. So if you missed it, if you wanna track to the essential updates on the points, you can cover that on the stream most likely. So yeah. Unreal 4 is obsolete. We are moving on forward with Unreal 5, starting with 5.4 next patch. Runs it is. Runs it is. All right. I don't remember if I even raided runs. We're gonna watch a replay of this stream. I think tomorrow or the next day usually we have a summarize stream. So keep an eye out on our webpage, YouTube. All right. Let's give runs a raid. Where the hell do I have the button? Raid. All right. Let's. What the hell? They updated everything. I don't recognize myself. Everything is changed, but I guess I'm doing it correct. All right, guys. Thank you very much for participating, and thank you for all your questions, donations, subscriptions. I will see you soon again, and have a good night. Bye bye, all.